You know what they say, no matter how much of a push you might give with the marketing, but the word of mouth is something which is the strongest. So if I look at the biggest success stories when it comes to books, may it be Harry Potter or may it be any other book for that matter, may it be even 50 Shades of Grey, any book that works only works because people like it and they tell other people about it. Hello everyone. So I'm supposed to sign some books today, which are for a giveaway that was organized by my publisher, which happened on Instagram largely. I should do something which my favorite author does all the time, Brandon Sanderson, that is make a video while he signs the book. So that's what I'm going to do today. So, but I need to do the opening of this box first. So let us do that. And I will just talk about the book a bit while I'm making this video and signing the copies. So maybe that will have some kind of, that will throw some kind of more light on the book and its content, as some of you might be curious. Okay, so I had not seen the book in this quantity before. So it's this box full of the books, and I'm just going to take them out and I'll start signing them. I started writing this book a long time back actually. I started writing this book way back in 2017 or 16 if I'm not mistaken. And it took as long to write this book as it did. Primarily because this was basically unlike anything that I had written before. Before this book, I have written comedies and one very hard-hitting, negative, violent drama, which is Love to Hurt You, and books like those. But this book is slightly different because it's an in-depth reflection of human thoughts and ideas, and reflections on what the whole how different people can take the idea of love and romance in their life, and and I have also infused a lot of my personal thoughts and ideas in this, as for what I think those ideas should be like and how they should be taken in life. By the way, all those people who have won the giveaway, congratulations. I hope you enjoy reading this book. I have put in a lot of heart in this. And please, guys, do get back, do come back with your comments and ideas. Tell me how you liked it. Tell me if you loved it. Tell me if you hated it. All of it helps me to write better, but please don't be mean. It's really hurtful like that, because no matter who has written the book, and no matter how bad the writing might turn out to be, but trust me, there's a lot of effort that goes in writing a book. So just bring in all the comments, bring in all the feedback, but don't be mean. And for that matter, I don't think anyone should be mean to anyone at all ever in life. So this is the first book that I'm going to sign. Okay, it's not very easy to sign and talk at the same time, but I'm gonna try doing that. So what is this book all about? It's exactly what the title says, the part I left with you. So the idea is actually that what what's the impact that we have on people when we leave them. The part I leave with you, when you leave someone, how does it matter to them, how does it affect them? And that's the whole idea of this book, and that's what I'm dealing with this book. It may be something which might be very liberating for someone, as it happens for one of the characters. It may be something which devastates someone, as it happens with another character, and it may be something which gives another breath of life to someone, which again happens with one of the characters. So that's the idea that I've dealt with in this book, and that's what I'm trying to read. I've tried to make it very positive. I've tried to make it very uplifting, and I really do hope you like this book. Now, how did this book come to my mind, and how did this whole idea happen, and what was I thinking? That's one question which people keep asking me over and over again, and I love answering that question. So we're living in a very strange world, and I have spent quite some time, I have spent quite some mature years now, and what I've felt is that the kind of negativity and the kind of impatience that we need to deal with now is something which is very new. It was not something there which I had to experience, when I was in college, and those were some very different times. Things were a lot slow with this whole influx of technology and the flood of content and entertainment content, as they call it, has come in. It has created a lot of behavioral changes for us. Now, different people behave differently to different stimuli is something that I have been thinking about since a very long time. Different people behave differently when exposed to the same things. So that was the whole thing that started this book. Like, in my previous book, if you see Love to Hurt You, people are living in the world that we are living in, and somehow they turn very aggressive, very violent, and that was what their response was. In this book, what happens is that people don't get that aggressive, but somehow either they get depressed, and either they want to help others, or either they just want to break free from the things that are happening. So these are the responses. So the idea was that, what if I have like three different people who are living in this very negative kind of world, and how will they react to these things, and how will these times shape them? That was essentially the basic idea. And then one thing led to another, and then I started developing these characters, and then those characters started shaping themselves on their own primarily. So that's how the whole book came about. Initially, this book, The Part I Left With You, was a part of Love to Hurt You. So both these books were essentially one single book, which had that one common single thought, which I just explained, that how different people behave differently to the same things. Because they are different people actually. But what was happening was the storyline of Love to Hurt You and the storyline of The Part I Left With You. By the way, when I say both these names, I realize that the word "you" is in both of them. So it's very external. It's centered on someone else. So it's essentially that's one of the main ideas that I've tried to play with in these books. So both of these books were essentially one single book, and they were tied with the idea and the concept, but they were not tied with the plot. Both these stories, they never intertwined, they never mingled. And when my editors read it, they told me that, Rahul, it's too abstract, and the reader's not going to get that what are they reading and why are they reading it. So it's better to make it into two different books, and that's what I finally did, and that's why we have these two books. Now, a lot of people are also coming and they're asking me that, are we looking at the same characters that we were looking at in Paperback Dreams, and are we looking at the same characters which were there in Just For You as well? Well, my answer is no, and my answer is yes as well, because they're not basically the same people. They're different people, but me as a writer, I do have this thing of carrying one character and infusing it into the other characters that are coming up in my other stories. So there will be shades of those characters, but these are very definitely independent stories, and they can be read as tied to those stories as well, and they can be read as something completely different and standalone also. Also, a lot of people ask me that why did I take such a long break after Just For You. Love to Hurt You came after a gap of more than 5 years, I believe. I had not stopped writing. That's first. I was writing, and I have still a lot of projects which are waiting to get published or get finished. So there are more than 5 to 6 projects that I'm still working on. So I had not stopped writing, and I was constantly writing, but there was a lot happening on the personal front. I was supposed to manage a lot of things, and so much was happening that somehow I did not have the time to take those books to the publishers, because before you do that, you need to revise those drafts, and you need to rework on them, and you need to refine them and all of that, and that is tiring work for me as a writer. I enjoy conceiving ideas, I enjoy writing the first drafts, but then after that it becomes a little bit tiring. So and that effort was something which I did not get enough time for. So that's why all these books kept sitting on my desk for a very long time, and that's why it took such a long time to get published. But I think in the coming few years, hopefully, you guys will see a lot of my books coming at a frequency which none of my earlier works have, been pushed into the market. So be ready for that. Another question which a lot of people ask me, that which is your favorite book? Now, I don't write plot-centric books, so my books are more to do with the characters and the ideas and the notions that I want to push as an author. So that's why it's very difficult for me to pick up a book and say that yes, this is my most favorite book and stuff like that, because if I'm not convinced enough to write something, I will not write it. And even if I write it and if I read it again and if I feel that it's not working, I would not send it to the publishers. I do have a pile of manuscripts which I wrote and I felt that they were not working, or they were not, worth getting published. So if the book is reaching to my readers, if it's getting into the market and you're holding it in your hands, I'm thoroughly convinced and it has to be a favorite book of mine. But even then, if you insist on asking this question, then in that case, the first book I would mention is The Part I Left With You, because this book is very personal to me. It's as personal to me as my first book, Those Small Things, because I have put in all of my thoughts in this, and almost it's like written without any filtering system, which I have always employed in all my other books. So that's one. Apart from that, which book I would want to mention? I would want to mention two more books. Paperback Dreams, because that was something again which I felt needed to be said, because the kind of developments that were happening around that time. That's one. And The Orange Hangover, that one book was so much fun to write, and that's another book for which I still get a lot of mails and comments, and people still come to me and they say that was one book which they really thoroughly enjoyed. And so these are the two books which I guess that I would say that are my favorite books. So that's that. And with this, I have finished signing the books, and I will be sending them out to my publisher again, and they will be sending these books out to the winners. So the winners, congratulations once again. And if you like the book, talk about it, share information about it, get in touch with me on Facebook, on Instagram, on the YouTube channel, anywhere that you wish, and I would love to hear what you have to say about those books. I'm very open to criticism, but as long as it's not mean, guys, don't be mean. And if you are mean, then probably I can't do anything about it. But yes, do get in touch after reading the book, and if you like it, share it with your friends, write reviews, talk about it, because you know what they say, no matter how much of a push you might give with the marketing, but the word of mouth is something which is the strongest. So if any book happens, and if I look at the biggest success stories when it comes to books, the books which became as big as they became, may it be Harry Potter or may it be any other book for that matter, may it be even 50 Shades of Grey. So any book that works only works because people like it and they tell other people about it. So if you like it, please tell other people about it. I have put in a lot of effort, I have put in a lot of heart in this book, and I really hope you enjoy reading it. That's it for today, guys. I'm done signing. So happy reading and stay safe. Keep reading. Cheers.